Warning. Some viewers may find the following video offensive. Viewer discretion is advised.
Elite FPL, baby!
Discretion is advised. Warning. Some viewers may find the following video offensive. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Elite FPL. It's Sunday evening. It's a Sunday surgery, and yeah, I've just been woken up by Steve. How's it going, everyone? Sorry that we're late. It's completely my fault. Steve was literally here ready to rock and roll, but yeah, I was like asleep on the sofa. And yeah, Mal must be upstairs or something. She must be like dealing with Hayley. Like, I don't know. Anyway. Hello, Steve-O. What's going on, man?
Well, for the last 15 minutes, I've been just looking at my team, contemplating a -8, but I just don't need to do it this week. I can hold off for one more week. But
just out of curiosity, what would that -8
just to get Trent
be?
Alexander-Arnold in. It really annoys me that you've got him. It annoys the shit out of me you've got him. He's a really good asset. And right as it stands right now, it is Turner in for Kellier, Trent in for Gabriel, and then Haaland will have to go. I've been looking at it. I'm thinking there's something about Man City I don't like. Their fixtures are shit, apart from one game against Sheffield United, which I'd want him back for. And I'm just literally looking at a 2-week forward punt, and there's only two names that spring to mind. One of them's Solanke, but his fixtures aren't great. In fact, I'd argue they're shit. Nottingham Forest and Fulham. And the other one is a big punt, but depending on the injury news to Isaac, it's Wilson. He's a goal scorer. Luton and Nottingham Forest. Liverpool and Man City won't worry him at all. And I want to hear news on Wilson because he could be gold, Jace.
I mean, yeah, I think that... yeah, I think the logic's sound. I think the -8, like you said, you don't have to do it now, but certainly Trent picking the bonus points up tonight.
Well, it's not just that; he looked brilliant.
He certainly looks like, it certainly looks like Klopp has built the team around him. He's I don't know if he's decided to put himself forward to play centre midfield, or if Klopp's literally said, right, we want you to play more central, to be more involved in both sides of the pitch. I don't know, but certainly he's become more akin to what he was in previous seasons, like in terms of how linked he is between the build-up play. So certainly the attack of Liverpool, how important it's become to get the ball to Trent, essentially. So yeah, I completely understand that. Good evening, everyone. Say hello to everyone in the chat, shall we, Steve? It's oh, you look at this. We've got Runo's here. We've got Andrew Ferguson. Up to 198,000. Nice one. Nice green arrow. Animations here. Scotty D. Han. Renault Mirani. Hello to Renault Mirani. Andrew Ferguson. We've got Madeline Tudor here. Colm. We got Adam here. Up to 294,000. Nice one. Nice one. People talking about their rank, doing a lot better than us. Animations. We've got Gerald. 200k after a -12 already for the next 4 to 5 game weeks. Wow, he took a -12. -8 hit and brought in Bournemouth and Luton good goal scorers, right? Okay. We've got Clickers here, Men in Black. We've got Rad, Firetog, John. All right, John. Gabriel De Rops here. Jordy Kev. Daniel's here. Hello, Dan. How's it going? We've got Dan Bull in the chat as well. Bit of Scullion here. We've got Ollie L. Opinions on... Oh, God, here we go. Straight off the bat. Opinions on Solanke points.
Well, I have news, actually, Jace. You won't know this, but the FPL site has released a statement. Do you want me to read it?
Why wouldn't I know this? This has only just happened.
I don't know specifically when it happened, but it certainly happened, I'm guessing,
go for it.
An hour ago.
Hit me with this news.
So this is what's been released. It's nothing major. Most of the people that are here would have already read this. So here we go. This was released, well, it was an hour ago. Game week 17 will remain open after the conclusion of Sunday's matches. More information will follow in due course. So essentially, the game is just waiting to see what the FA or the Premier League decide to do with this Bournemouth-Luton game. That's it. And then if they announce that the game is match void and they're going to be replaying it in a double game week at some point in the end of the season or whatever, then FPL Towers have to make a decision on whether, which I agree with you, that the points will stand with Solanke, Adebayo, and whoever else got the points in that particular... Well, basically all the players that played in that game that got points, they will still remain. However, if they want to delve... I mean, you're the one that knows all about this stuff. If they want to delve deep into, like, going through the data and stripping all the points, then how difficult would that process be?
The how I see it would it be from what they've said is if they're keeping it open and keeping it live, then it means that they're almost treating the game as unfinished. So what that tells me is that they're leaving themselves open to do one of two things. They're going to either honor the points and once the game's complete, add any additional points onto whatever he's already scored, which would be, of course, some people would argue that's very unfair because you'd be getting almost like if again, are they going to start the game from 60 minutes? I mean, the rules of football are pretty clear. You've got to play 90 minutes, to have a valid, result. So do they continue the game from the 60th minute? Do they replay the game entirely? If they continue the game from the 60th minute, I mean, again, obviously they're gonna have to find out all time and play when to do that. I doubt that's going to happen. I think that for me, it's kind of like more likely that they end up finding a date towards the end of the season or certainly later in the season where they can replay this game. And if they replay it, then kind of what it means to me is that FPL have left it open that they can just basically reset the points so that whatever he scores on that particular week would be scored instead. For me, they've left it open, but at the same time, they kind of, it's been a bit unfair really, because people just don't know what's going on, and they've not given much clarity of it, and they're just covering their backs, because what I think they need to do is they just need to come out with a decision from an FPL point of view, because this is going to set a precedent in a sense of what happens in the future when God forbid if it happens again, something like where the game is kind of certainly abandoned. It's a really tough one. I think that the fact that the time period has gone past, so the game has been left open, but there's been a time period of those points have been marked, those points have been scored on the game right now, and the game's updated with those points. I mean, it's a bit silly to potentially days, maybe even weeks later, chalk them off or certainly add more points to this. So yeah, if you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. If you wipe the points, it's unfair because it's a tragic incident which was completely shock to many people, and it's unfair that people that bought in Solanke have been stripped of the points. But at the same time, if you then add the points on, with the game played at a later date, then that's also unfair as well, because it's people have got two bites of the cherry if you keep the points. So what I think they should have done, and what I think a lot of people think, is just give the points now and just completely have it done. Just have it from an FPL point of view, draw the line to say now from the FPL point of view, the points have been scored. Because they've kind of updated the game with those points now, and to kind of mess around with those points at a later date is kind of a bit, it makes the game a bit I don't know, just doesn't sit right with me that they would manipulate the points potentially days after they've already been recorded. So yeah, without going around in circles, because I think lots of people, it's going to be one of these things where lots of people are going to have their own opinion on this. There's going to be lots of different people with different opinions. Some people with, obviously the Solanke owners are going to have their own opinions, certainly going to be like, well, we want these points, and deservedly so. I mean, they've essentially now, I mean, they've taken the bonus points. Have they still got the bonus points off of him? Do you know?
I'll be honest, I don't have a clue.
No. I think they've given the bonus points, haven't they? Yeah, so they've given the bonus point. So they had the
people in the chat are saying they were given and then they've been taken away, whatever that means.
What, they've been given and then been taken away? Let's have a quick look. The bonus points are not on. So the game has been recorded as 90 minutes. This is a thing, right? On the game, they've recorded it as 90 minutes played. Like Do you know you had obviously everyone just going crazy on Twitter and general social media going, everyone's asking questions about what happens with the Solanke points, and we had obviously a lot of like drama between the content creators and people on Twitter because they're like confused at what. But this is the reason why. I mean, they're confused because unfortunately FPL Towers have not been decisive about this as a game. They're relying on what's going on from the FA and from the Premier League before they want to know more before they make a decision, which is understandable. But from a game point of view, where the game updates at the end of the day, it's left a lot of people like wondering what's going on. And like my initial thoughts was Solanke doesn't score anything because the game's not been recorded by the Premier League as a game there's no result. So from a Premier League point of view, the game has been postponed. The game has been abandoned, postponed for a future date. And that being the case, my initial thought was, well, it's quite obvious they're going to remove the points from Solanke because it's not been officially recorded. Unfortunately, people lose the points from Solanke. But when they didn't remove the points last night, and they kept the points on, I was thinking, all right, that's interesting. And the fact that they've come out with that statement means that they're more in the camp of keeping the points on there, on the board. Yeah, it's so messed up. It's such a weird situation. It really is. And I don't think that even now that there's a concrete policy in place on how this, if this was to happen again, like, would it be the same again? Would the games be left wide open to be scored at a later date or to be finalised at a later date? I just don't know. I literally, I don't think people are satisfied with the lack of clarity. That's all I can really say. I mean, it'd be interesting what your thoughts are and what other people's thoughts are. Let's hear Steve-O's opinion on this, Podner says.
I don't really have an opinion. I find the whole situation a bit pathetic, really. Just the way people are banging on about it like it's the matter of life or death. Like, yeah, I can have a rant about the fact that some player missed a penalty because he's a differential on you, whatever, but this situation is just like, just wait and see. It's literally out of our hands. I'm just going to read actually what I wrote in the moderator chat, to be honest with you, because I think this here actually sums up in written format my opinion, which was this. So I wrote this morning, a bunch of Twitter accounts apologising about their reaction to the news. So the live reaction to the news as it unfolded regarding Tom Lockyer and his collapse. It's fucking ludicrous, meaning that they're apologising about their own personal reaction because they're scared about their own brand. So
what do you mean about their own personal reaction? Sorry, I didn't get that. Sorry. What are they apologising for?
So a lot of Twitter accounts,
yeah,
whenever Tom Lockyer collapsed, they all put out a statement like, I don't want to hear a single person talk about Solanke points, else you'll be blocked. All words to that effect. Like, quite a lot of content creators wrote that. So they've then followed up another tweet by saying, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I shouldn't have said that. Please don't report me because I'm scared my Twitter account may get blocked. Get a grip of yourself. So anyway, I just think it's fucking ridiculous. A man has had a cardiac arrest. Content Twitter accounts, in my opinion, rightly slam people banging on about the points, which I do agree with. I think that these people have every right to say what they do, but then to start apologising for saying that, it's just double standards. Then now they're apologising for their initial tweet to protect their brand. End of the day, no one but the FA/Premier League knows what's going on and wish people would just shut the fuck up about it. Yes, this is an unusual circumstance, but fuck me, for people to be worried if they'll get 9 points or not is absurd, specifically in this situation. And I agree with that. I just think everybody just needs to calm the fuck down and just not worry about it. Because last night when me and Dan were streaming, people were literally arguing with one another in the chat to the point of where I had to block a few people because of the shite that they were talking about, to be honest with you. It's just embarrassing. And like I say, yeah, I get pissed off with certain things that happen in games and stuff, but that's because
I mean,
okay,
let's play devil's advocate slightly here, because this is a game that a lot of people take very, very seriously. I mean,
you're joking there.
The question is are people more aware now about the circumstance and the way the point scoring is than before? And the answer is no. You know the best. You know as well as I do that talking points happen all the time in FPL. Now it can be something as simple as a VAR controversy, to an assist being awarded when it shouldn't have been, or an assist not being awarded when it should have been. And people, if it's a popular player that's been affected, it will always become topic of discussion on social media, on various formats, whatever. And that's fine. And that's perfectly normal. And let's be completely subjective. Solanke was the most transferred in player. He was certainly the most widely anticipated replacement for Haaland. And when a situation like this happens, people just want to know what the hell is going on. And because there was no clarity, there was no tweet, there was no response from official FPL towers over the situation, what do the people tend to do, Steve-O, is they tend to then go to their favourite content creators and they start asking them, because they are the gods of knowledge, because they've got the in the nose, they've got the the insights to win you money. So essentially, people look to them for their knowledge, their opinion,
Well,
and they have got no idea.
I don't disagree with that. In fact, I think that people going to these content creators who choose to give out advice, tips, hidden secrets, because they've got, like you said, in the nose, they're happy to do that. But then the second this is my biggest issue with FPL content. And ironically, here's the irony: when I've been to all of two FPL meets, do you know what the biggest quote compliment I get, Jace? Do you know what it is?
You got muscles?
No. So obviously it's about this channel. What do you think they say about this channel?
That you don't have a filter?
Correct. They say, I love the fact your channel's really real. And I look at the people and I'm like, I appreciate the comment and stuff, but why can't you be real? What's stopping you from being genuinely open, honest? I'm not having a go at these people, but they've got a brand to protect, like every single person on social media that's got a bit of a following. They've got some brand to protect. It's like, but I'm not being funny, but you're not looking at the bigger picture, which is, God, I'm going to go on a tangent here, but like real life, you're more worried about some poxy Twitter account than you are your own personal life. It's just mental. Anyway, the point being is that these people have a brand to protect. So when they've got literally hundreds of thousands of Twitter followers, and of that, a lot of them are just a bunch of FPL profiles which come over and go, can you tell me what's going on? Can you tell me what's going on? Can you tell me what's going on? They're normal people. So they're going to react in a way which is, I'll just essentially just fuck off. I don't know. This fucking bloke has had a cardiac arrest in the middle of the pissing field. I don't really give a flying fuck about Solanke at the moment. I care about that bloke there, which is fair enough. But then they're like, oh shit, shouldn't have said that because I've just lost that follower there. Oh Christ, he's not going to watch any of my videos.
Yeah, but I think
come out and apologise for it.
I get what you're saying, but just let me just finish. However, the game itself, who is now on Sky Sports, BT Sports, they bang on through social media about like, oh,
Are you happy that you've got Salah captain points? Which captain have you got today? Which player is the highest scoring player that you'll be bringing in this week? And all this fucking bollocks. But when it actually comes to something genuine that people actually want to know, don't know.
The thing is, it's like what I tweeted. I tweeted out my opinion, and some people will not like my opinion, and some people will see it maybe from my side of things. And my side of things is that I care about certainly Tom Lockyer's situation. Quite deeply, concerned to hear what happened. I wasn't watching the game. I think it's amazing that he got the treatment in speed, the response, and certainly his recovery. And I wish him a speedy recovery with him and his family. And it's something you don't want to see. It's something you do not want to see in football. Players collapsing, but at the same time, I can give a shit about that, but also be interested in knowing, I'm curious. Like, humans are curious by nature, okay, and certainly, I'm one of the people that if I don't know something, I want to know all the information, Steve-O, and I completely understand why some people would be like fed up of responding to people asking about the Solanke points, but at the same time, I do think that some people that were very, very genuinely concerned about Tom Lockyer can also be very genuinely interested in knowing, and I think it's all about timing. Interested in knowing about what happens with the Solanke points. I don't think it's distasteful to a point where you deserve to be publicly shamed or blocked or deleted from a channel purely because you've asked a question. But I do think timing is very important. I mean, certainly asking the question whilst the player is receiving treatment, or certainly soon, very, very shortly after, circumstances surrounding the player were very unclear at that. It's almost like, let's just check if he's all right first before, maybe like, let's just think about that first before we move on to maybe what happens as a result of it. But certainly later on in the evening when, the player's been seen to be sitting up and perceived to be doing okay and at hospital with a specialist team, I think it's reasonable for people to be curious as to what actually happens in those circumstances, because it's such a rare situation, which fortunately a very, very rare situation that rightly shouldn't happen that often. People are just like, what the hell happens? Like, what is going on? Like, I don't know what happens. And it's, I don't think these people are self-centered and completely, disrespectful. But I do think a lot of it's down to the timing of when the question's asked. And, these people, I do think it's like calling them out and swearing at them on social media and shaming them and individualizing and targeting them. I don't think it was healthy. And maybe some content creators probably did snap in a bit of anger at some of the people, but I think you can't. I think it's really hard to just literally call someone out for something like about asking a question, and I think that everyone's entitled to ask a question. That's my opinion on it. And yeah, if you don't like someone, then yeah, you can choose to ignore them.
I think what I was trying to get at is just the fact that it's regarding the protecting the brand. I saw someone apologise who it was, but they said about they protect their brand because of the money they're bringing in, and it's true.
But I saw some of the comments, Steve, very quickly. I saw some of the comments that content creators made, and I was like, well, it's a bit over the top. Like the reaction was a little bit over the top. It was almost like, yeah, it probably wouldn't like the wording was a bit over the top, a bit strong. It could have been a bit more. Could have been a bit more diplomatic in the way that it was worded. It was some people were very offensive with the way that they dealt with it.
I wanted to do a genuine experiment. I cannot be bothered, and I was going to go on the biggest FPL Twitter accounts, and I'm pretty certain that the majority said virtually word for word the same thing. But again, because they're only human, they are going to say virtually the same thing. And it's like I said, it's like they're scared to actually voice a genuine opinion because it's the way they make money. And it for me, it kind of like highlights why sometimes being in a world of social media, which is your job. I mean, Dan, come live on air. Talk to us about this because this is your expertise. It's almost one of those where it's like, I've seen some of the accounts that literally spam the fuck out of a Twitter news feed, and it is just deliberately there just to get money from the tweets. Like they'll get X amount of pennies for getting X amount of engagement for that tweet, especially if they're paying premium, which they all are. And the second that they become, it's like Steve-O me or Steve-O the Elite FPL character. It's like same person. But unfortunately, these people, because they've literally got hundreds of thousands of followers, they have to be they have to become a robot, and their real true emotions will come out once. And it's like, oh, better not say that, actually. Delete. Or they'll keep it up, but they'll apologize for putting out a real emotional point, and you're just like,
or they've. So it's a question of, are they apologizing because they're scared of their brand, or are they apologizing because they've looked at it back and the cold light of day and thought, actually, I was maybe a bit over the top with what I've said.
I genuinely think it's. I've seen some of the content creators, and it's because they're scared they're worried that they're going to be ousted by the FPL community. They won't be. They won't be, because actually, I
tell you that. No, I do think that some people have lost a lot of respect by. I mean, and to be honest, so there's been my from a personal point of view, I've some of the things that I saw on social media made me kind of lose a bit of respect for content creators.
Do you want to? You don't need to name anybody. I don't want you to, but can you give an example? Because I don't even know what you're talking about now. Can you give an example of what you mean by that? Like, give an example of a tweet where you thought, don't like what you said there. Could you expand on that?
I think it's quite. If you go back on the timeline of events, it's quite clear that there was many content creators that were towing the line that you must. Shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear your Solanke shit questions right now. There's a player that's fighting for its life, and it's like, and for me, I think that if you're a content creator, you're a public, you are essentially. I know it's a very small or a niche community, but you're a public-facing person, and you are going to get attention from people because you're wanting attention, because you're a content creator, because you create videos, and you want all the questions, and you have all the questions about the most shittiest questions every week. Should I play this player? Should I drop that player? Should I bench this player first? And you're happy to answer all these fucking pathetic questions that you get asked time and time again. You might have 100 people asking you the same question, but you don't go crazy on those people because they're the 600th person to ask the same question in that day. But like I think some people have lost respect in the FPL community by the way that they treated their own community members on social media, and I think that they're probably, some of them, there are some people that are probably embarrassed as to how they may have reacted to the initial questions, and I completely think that it was blown out of proportions. There was virtual signaling, there was proper virtue signaling going on, and look, if you don't like somebody's question, If someone in the chat now says something, a twattish person in the chat says something I don't like, well, what's the worst thing? I mean, I just don't read it out. You know, I just don't give it any light of day. I don't think about it. I just ignore it. I don't turn around, or very rarely do I turn around and single out someone for being a complete cock. And I think there will be people in the FPL community that will feel like they've been disappointed with the way that their favorite content creator, because there will be people that have felt wronged by the way that it was dealt with by some of the content creators, and again, this is what I've seen online. I've seen people commenting on content creators' posts after the fact saying, I disagree with this, and I think the way that you reacted was inappropriate, and they are potentially Patreons. They could be potentially subscribers and paid members to their streams. And they may be, you know, maybe what you said is true. Maybe they're literally realizing that by taking a hard stance against, you know, genuine. It's a genuine question. I mean, you know, you might not like it, but people are going to want to know what's going on with their FPL player, because people take the game very seriously and they want to beat their rivals. They want to have the advantage and the edge on there, but also they're very curious and they want to know where they stand. They want to know ahead of time. This is why, Steve-O, you've got freaking hundreds and thousands of people that are sitting on the words of an in the know account, finding out, does this player start? Can we get slight advantage over my mini league rival by sitting on Twitter and watching deadline streams to find out that little tiny bit of information, that because the people are just desperate to know. They're so desperate to know. They want all the knowledge in one place, and the internet has provided so much of that. The internet provides so much knowledge and information that people's natural instinct is to ask, what happens? Why? Will I be getting my point? You know, and it's not because you're selfish and you don't give a shit about the rest of the world. You don't give a shit about Tom Lockyer's tragic incident. It's because people just so freaking curious. They're so freaking curious as to what happens, because it involves them. It involves them indirectly. And, you know, again, without going around in circles of beating the whole subject to death, there will be people that have lost faith and respect from their favorite content creator out there. And that's sad, because, you know, the FPL community is not the biggest community out there, but they're quick to get toxic. I'll tell you now, they're quick to get toxic. Bloody hell. Right, anyway, let's just see what some of the comments say. Do content creators think... here we go. Do content creators think that they are better than us? Some aren't even as good at us at the game. Been going and watching football since 1988. Simple answer is, Andrew, yes. I hate to say it, but some content creators not only think that they're bigger and better than you. I mean, there is definitely an ego thing. If you sit in front of a camera and you get hundreds, thousands of views, people are riding on your words, people are asking you for advice, people are gonna feel like they've got a bit of a god complex going on, and they've got this whole, you know, listen to me, I'm a content creator. And it's not just in FPL, like you just see it up and down the streaming world, the gaming industry, you see it in there. You know, just because you're a content creator doesn't mean you're good at the game. You know, you're just literally providing tips, or you're providing information, or you're just relaying. Let's be honest, that's all you're doing. You're relaying information. A lot of the content creators are borrowing information from each other anyway. I mean, how much fresh information do you get from a content creator that does FPL? Let's be honest. And yeah, they do. Not all of them, but a lot of them, they do look down on the FPL community as, you know, as their cash cow, their revenue source. That's it. You're just a revenue source. I hate to say it, you are. You know, and what Steve-O was saying is absolutely right. I mean, be scared to upset your revenue, and if you've woken up the day after, or you've realized that a lot of people are upset with what you've said, and you come out and go in, I'm really sorry, I should have said that. Are you saying it because you've genuinely had a turn of heart and you're thinking, oh crap, maybe I was a bit over the top? Or are you saying that because you've noticed people are unsubscribing and you notice people are not supporting you on your Patreon, or they're dropping their Patreon memberships, or they're dropping their memberships, on YouTube or on other sites as a result of what you've done? I'll let you decide that. I mean, Steve-O, I mean, I think I know where you stand on this. Exactly, Jace. Don't tell me what I can talk about on Twitter or not. Absolutely, Podner. If you want to talk about, was today Luke Shaw, was it a penalty? Was it not a penalty? Hit his arm. I've seen some of them given. I've not, but I prefer them not to be given. That's fine. You can talk about it to your heart's content. Was it a sending off for Dalot tonight? Tonight was it rightly or wrongly a second yellow? Two yellow cards to make a red card for dissent for referee that got the decision wrong. Was it fair? No, it wasn't. It's going to be a talking point. It's football. We talk about what happens in football. And, and that's just the human nature of communication. And Elite FPL are genuine, and some content creators, which makes them want to come back each week. Thank you, Animations. I'm just saying it as it is. Again, not everyone's going to agree with me. Not everyone's going to agree with Steve-O, and that's fine. And that is okay. If you've got a different opinion than me, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I'm not going to get upset about it and cry about it to anyone.
But without blowing smoke up our asses, the thing that sets us apart from majority is that I think that most channels, apart from, I'm going to say FPL Juice, of course I am, even they do it, is we're not about giving advice. We're here, very similar to FPL Juice, like you said about the guys, to have a conversation with people about something which brings us together, in this specific case FPL, whereas unfortunately for 95%, if not higher, of FPL content is about telling the audience what to do. I think you should do this. I think you should do that. And I blame you, the viewer that's either watching this right now on the replay, that make out like these content creators are the greatest thing since sliced bread. You say that, oh yeah, we love this channel, we love that channel. Great. So then I'm not suggesting you're not allowed to listen to other content creators, but the people that you're complaining about, you still go and watch. And it's kind of like, but you kind of are complaining about the fact that they're producing content which is copy and paste, but you still go out your way to support them. Like, it's just double standards at the end of the day. If you like that stuff, brilliant. But don't then complain about it and then come to us and say, oh yeah, your stuff's really unique and it's brilliant. And then I love the fact that you guys aren't like this, this and this, and then you still watch that stuff.
But for me, Steve-O, I think that what happened the other night was one or two content creators wrote a tweet saying, right guys, let's stop talking about the events of of whether or not Solanke got the point. And by the way, we will draw in a line under the subject very, very soon. One last final point is what I noticed. I want to go to bed. One thing I noticed was a couple of content creators, some of the bigger ones, tweeted out about it, and then all of a sudden, all the mid tier ones immediately tweeted out about it as well. It was almost like, all right, I feel like I need to make a statement, a public statement about Solanke and about shutting up and not talking about Solanke because there's bigger things, and that's fine. But it was just almost like it felt like one person said something, so I'm going to just do the same, and it was like, oh, right, okay, so we're all just going to go along this line of shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear your opinion. I don't want to hear your questions about FPL right now. And it's like, I just thought it was a little bit, knee-jerky about the way they dealt with it. But anywho, enough of that, and let's just move on, because the whole subject is just going to go around and around in circles. I listen to loads of FPL content creators. Some of them are very entertaining. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, you should be watching and listening to people that you find relatable, that you enjoy from a human level, and get what information you need from, and at the same time just find entertainment, because entertainment is the one thing that differentiates a lot of these content creators from each other, because some of them are very wooden, some of them are very, very just like very almost like robotic in the way that they present themselves. So when you find someone that's completely relatable, that's when you kind of get the right balance. Anyway, we've got a lot to talk about tonight, guys. We have got a lot to talk about, so we need to move on the show a little bit.
Just slightly, it's not off topic, but it's kind of similar. Is that I'll be doing a podcast with Cy Powell on Wednesday. I'm going to be recording about it's predominantly going to be about CM Punk, but I also want to talk to him. I said this last night on stream. I want to talk to him about the struggles of an independent content creator, and obviously his background is wrestling, and it's going to be really interesting to hear his point of view from what it's like in the wrestling world, like how the similarities between the content that the big channels produce. I mean, we all know what it is. The answer is anyway. It's just clean cut, perfectly edited videos put together. We all know this, but I'm just going to be very interested to hear Cy's point of view when it comes from an independent wrestling podcaster. But yeah, absolutely, Jace. We are here to do the Sunday surgery, and we want to hear we want to hear you live on air. We've only got
let's quickly cover the we've got a few things. We want to cover the fact that the Super Cup is very much alive, kicking, and ready to be drawn. We've got some great news tonight from Firetug. Firetug has messaged me tonight. Hello, Firetug. Who's the man behind it all? Without him,
just quickly, sorry to interrupt. According to Firetug, you need to refresh the chat log. Apparently, it's froze on the dashboard.
Oh, really?
So all these thousands of messages coming through. I'll get
it sorted now. I'll get that sorted. Yeah. So yeah, to what, like I was saying, whilst I'm refreshing the chat, Firetug has got through to me today and told me that yes, there has been a great response from the Elite FPL community. We have now got all the entries that we need for the Super Cup. So therefore, registration for the Super Cup has now been closed. So if you haven't registered for the Super Cup and you were interested, it's not like we haven't given you opportunity and warning for the last God knows how long now, a couple of weeks we've been telling you about it. We're going to read out the entrants. So here we go. Here are the entrants for the 2023-2024 Super Cup. 20 titles. Ayush, Abdul, Adulis, Andrew Ferguson, Andy Chats FPL, Animations, AQ, Ben0906, Bilal, Black Flag, Blonde, Bobado, Brendan123, Brew, Buffy, Callum504, Chef Ramsey, Christian Walsh, Colm, Crypto FPL, Dan is a doughboy, Danny Boy, Danny91, Dara B, David Hamill, DB95, Denver Captain 786, Devon Star, Dread FPL, Dumpsters Fire, Edgeworth, Emmy, Emil Smith Joe, Faded Razza, Firetog, 4M IFC, FPL Haggis, FPL Leo, FPL MK, FPL Bailey, FPL Karma, French FPL, Gabriel Ropp, Harbour Boy, Harry Dawson, Infamous, JR, Jacko, myself, JC, John Magic, Jones Bloke, KDB17, Kevin Mayher, a lot of names that I recognise here. King Kun, Clickus, Cool K, Kazali, Lickme, Lino, Madeline Tudor, Mane, Matthew Eziashi, Matty, Max Roberts, Mo, Nick Sharp, Notorious, Nuclear Atoms, Only Nick, Paulie, Peter Scunnion, PK7, PM, Podna, Ragav, Ramanathan, Reno Mirani, DJ, Rodrigo Mimoso, Romero Island, Scotty D, Shagair, Simikiz, Star Wars Dan, yourself, Stevo, Sultan Saeed, That Lost Guy, The Best, The Don, Ultimate C2, Vijay Garv, Warfare, What No Graphics, and finally Zavonko Kukavicha. Well done to everyone that's registered for the Super Cup, and thank you for taking part. We will be doing a draw very, very soon. Obviously, we'll do it in between the fast and furious fixtures that are going to be coming up. So once I get a date for that, I will let you guys know. Well done for reading out all those names. Some of those names are a bit tricky, but yeah, there we go. That's everyone that's registered. So best of luck to all of you. We will be doing and following the events of the Super Cup very closely. The live draw, I always find the live draw really fun, Steve-O. It's always great to do that. Trent right back, all right. Trent midfield, unbelievable. Don't get why Klopp just won't let him roam around. Well, I think that's what he did, and maybe you'll see more of it. Rad on that one. Oh, Anguila's been fishing. He caught a £6 9-ounce chub today. That's a big chub to console myself from the travesty of Man United Liverpool. What do you mean the travesty of Man United Liverpool? I thought it was a good game. I mean, it wasn't a good game from I want to see goals, but it was a good game from a tactics point of view. Really good game. We're just waiting on the Parma chat. For the Parma chat. Yeah, okay, let's just talk about the games. We will be taking your calls. If you want to come on, you need to get yourself on the Discord. What's the Discord, Steve-O? It is...
It's Elite FPL's community forum.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people get involved, specifically through the voice chat element, talking all things FPL life.
Here we go. It's
life
right here.
And your wife.
We're here in the Discord on the on-air channel. The waiting rooms are here, so you just need to jump into the waiting room, post your team in the team screenshots channel, and away we go, ladies and gentlemen.
And we will be having a 3-minute timer today. I'll even bloody put the timer on if necessary.
He's going to have an egg timer in front of him. It's going to go off. I already see animations in there already. But before we do that, let's quickly cover the results. Let's just talk about it. So, right,
guys.
Nottingham Forest losing to Spurs on Friday 2-0. Oh, God. We talked about this, I know, last night, but again...
Sorry, can I just add this bit?
Yeah.
If I had just stuck with my guns, which I'd written down on a piece of paper, it's right there in front of me, Brentford 1, Aston Villa 2, I'd be top of the bloody predictions league. Instead, guess who's top, Jace?
Lino.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Lino is just... I think Lino is just a freak of nature that is just abnormally good at predictions. So yeah, you're always going to be at a disadvantage when you're going up against someone like that. But yes, get yourself in the Discord. Let's talk to us about your team. I want to hear particularly people that have been down in the dumps over the last few weeks and that don't know what to do with their team and maybe struggling to get the right picks, the right decision on captaincy, etc. Okay, Spurs beating Nottingham Forest. Are Spurs a team that we should be paying closer attention to, namely the fact that Richarlison seems to be returning to good form, scoring again in that game. Kulusevski getting a goal and an assist. Is Son enough? Is Son and Porro enough? Or could you even look at maybe tripling up on Spurs?
I'll tell you what, if
fixtures are...
If I'm in a desperate situation...
Decent.
Which I'm not, if I was. Richarlison at 6.6. Looking good. He looks a different player over the last couple of weeks. Not this prat that likes to fall over the place. He seemed to have, especially on...
Found his feet.
On Friday evening, it was like, I want to kick up a stink. Nope. My boss has told me not to. He's given me the confidence to just stay in the box and he's going to give me an opportunity. And he was presented with one. He scored. He's got confidence at the moment. And like I say, 6.6. Well, I think if anybody's looking for a bit of a differential, he could be the one. Or he is the one.
Well, it's certainly on my radar. He really is. I can't believe I'm saying it, but Spurs are certainly a team that I may be investing more players into in the near future. I can't believe I'm saying it, but it seems Ange Postecoglou seems to be getting the best out of his players at the moment. So, fair play. Okay, there's a question in the chat, stupid question, are we having a near Christmas stream of some sort? Well, considering the games are literally running up to Christmas Eve, all the way up from, God, it's just going to be ridiculous. Game week 18 starts on Thursday, Steve-O, Thursday, and then runs all the way through to Christmas Eve. And then, of course, we're back again on Boxing Day. So yeah, we will need to work out exactly when we'll be streaming, but we will be streaming. I'm sure, if I'm not sleeping, we'll be streaming, and Steve will be sleeping in a minute. And I'm knackered, mate. And just when you yawn makes me want to yawn. Don't get other content creators yawning, do you? Oh, that's because you mentioned Solanke. I'm fed up of you talking about Solanke. Oh, anyway, Richarlison, Kulusevski. I mean, you had Kulusevski, certainly last season, wasn't it? For me, it was kind of like a wait and see on him. And again, what's the fix? The fixtures are good. The fixtures are good for Spurs, so it could be ones to have in. Bournemouth 1-1.
Well, we've covered that. I don't want to hear that name again.
Yeah.
It's done. Please, no more. It was abandoned.
Let's just move on to Chelsea versus Sheffield United. Popular assets in that are Palmer, Sterling. The goalkeeper wasn't playing. Who's got Colwill maybe as a defensive option. Chelsea winning 2.
Do you want to hear a funny? It's not even funny. Do you want to hear just a quick story about Chelsea? So for Sky, I was like, right, I need to bring in a defender. I want to bring in a Chelsea defender who's guaranteed to start. Well, it's going to be Thiago Silva. Looked at the team screens, the team sheets. Brilliant. Thiago Silva starts. Right then, let's go with him. And of all the players in defence, he was my captain. He was the lowest scoring one of all the 4 that I could have picked. I could have had Colwill, Badiashile, Disasi, or Thiago Silva. I went with the safe option, and he got the least points of all 4.
Brilliant.
It's bloody typical.
Oh, it's all going downhill now. Well, that good work you did, it's all starting to come undone.
Still top of the Burnley League, though.
Oh,
3 weeks.
How many people are in that league?
2,000 something.
Oh, okay. Right, so anyone from Chelsea that Palmer, it's Palmer, isn't it? That you're looking to maybe bring in?
Colwill.
Right, okay. We go to Man City, Crystal Palace, a game that was surprising to many, like the fact that City they just imploded, didn't they? And fair play, Crystal Palace came back and got the draw. And
I wouldn't go as far. I actually watched the last because it was on Sky.
It was Foden's madness, wasn't it? Foden, a moment of madness, gives away a
that's exactly it. 2 sloppy goals. Admittedly, one was a penalty, but a sloppy goal from Schlupp, ball across, and whoever it was put it in the back of the net. And then Mateta, wasn't it? And then, of course, the foul within the box in the 95th minute. I mean, these are things that Pep Guardiola will be infuriating about. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he'd be he'd be gutted. He'd be gutted about that. You need to be these teams like Crystal Palace, Fulham, Everton, whatever. You need to be up 3-4-0, not because they're going to get into the game, but there's always that small possibility that stupid things like that happen. And it's why I can't stand watching Man City. When I was watching this 20 minutes, I'm just like, Jesus Christ, they are so boring. I hate them. I cannot stand watching Man City. Awful, awful football. Really, really boring. And I'm glad. This is why I'm this -8 that I'm contemplating to get rid of Haaland, just so I can bring in Trent. It's something that I'm really seriously looking at.
Well, very, very interesting. So, again, questioning actual FPL question, Steve, in the chat. Do I play Odegaard, Gabriel Jesus, and Salah? My other option is to bring in Palmer and for Salah and play Odegaard, Salah, Palmer, and bench Jesus. I wouldn't be benching Gabriel Jesus. I would play Odegaard, Jesus, and Salah. Yeah, I mean it's fine. Why would you mess all that up just to bring in Palmer for Salah? No. Just do that. Don't mess up that combination just for Palmer. I'm still not fully convinced with Palmer. I'm not. Watkins and Jackson. You've got Jackson already. You've got Jackson as one of your forwards. You don't need Jackson and Palmer. No. Well, do you want to hear a bit of good news? I'm just in the 900k, so I'm in the top 1 million now after this game week, which is a bit of good news. We've into the 60.
How many points are you ahead of me? 7, 8, 9, 12?
So at the moment I am 20.
Gone up to 20 because of Trent.
Yeah, you're 952 and I'm on 972. Points from Palmer, 14 of course. Points from an extra point for Saliba, obviously. We both had Simicus.
Saliba, of course.
Alexander-Arnold, yeah, the extra. A little bit disappointed with Cunha and Alvarez, but it is what it is. We move on. We move forward. Newcastle beating Fulham 3-0. You mentioned one player that you're interested in. He wasn't on the score sheet involved in that game at all from a point scoring point of view, but Callum Wilson. With news that potentially Isaac may be out. Is that right?
Yeah, Eddie Howe's come out and basically said that, ironically, both of their strikers aren't fit. They're not 100%, but Wilson's more advanced than Isaac with his fitness level. So, yeah, that's Wilson is someone that I'm potentially looking at as a 2-week punt.
Like, for me, in midfield, if I was like, I mean, like the previous person was saying about getting Palmer in. I think Anthony Gordon's a better pick than Palmer. What's your thoughts on that?
I'll tell you what, Gordon was extremely unlucky yesterday not to match what Palmer did. He was on fire yesterday.
But going forward, out of the two, who would you rather own?
Yeah, Palmer is more the creative type player, very Kevin De Bruyne-esque, it seems, and he's on set pieces. He likes to create a lot for his teammates, and everything seems to go through him. Whereas Gordon is just a lot more direct, and he's almost like a second striker. And I think having both is ideal, really. But honestly, I think they're both equal.
Question in the chat: do you reckon City will win the league? Though, does it matter that they're boring right now? Good question.
Well,
the thing is, if you're boring and grinding out the results, you win the league. But if you're boring and struggling to beat lesser opposition, you're not going to win the league. Simple as that. Playing boring but getting results is what you want to be doing. I don't know. I would like to think that it's too close to call right now. And maybe after Christmas, sort of like February, we'll start to see a winner emerging. But I'm kind of liking the fact that it's all up in the air and people don't know where the Premier League's going, and you've got essentially 5 teams within the shout of competing for top spot. So, realistically, 3 teams. To be honest with you, 3 teams, and those teams being Liverpool, Arsenal, and Man City, not Man United. Do I think Aston Villa can keep it up all the way? I don't. I think that they could finish top 4, but I don't think they're going to be title contenders. That's just my I mean, I love it. I'd love to see another complete outsider, like since Leicester City won it. I would love to see a complete underdog come through and win the Premier League, but that's it's a big talk. That's a bit of an ask. I have good news for you, Steve-O. Thiago Silva scored 10 in Sky, not 4 points.
I don't know why Men in Black's saying that. I know he got 10 points. But Badalashil Disassi got 12.
Oh, that's the end of the world. Burnley 0, Everton 2. Sean Dyche comes back to haunt Burnley. Do you have any personal comments on this game at all? You surprised that on the result, or was it kind of... What did you predict for this game?
2-0.
To Everton?
Yeah.
Oh, obviously. Okay. We'll move on. Yeah. Arsenal versus Brighton today. I mean, 2-0 Arsenal. Are they just a class above Brighton? I didn't see the goals or the game yet. I'll at some point look at the replay or the highlights. Or was it just 2-0 that you know of, Steve? I mean, ask the chat as well. Could it have been? Was it a golfing class? Is what I'm kind of saying, because I've been interested in watching the drop off of Brighton over the last matter of weeks, and Arsenal just seem to be just cruising at the moment.
Yeah. When we came to under Mark Goldbridge, Arsenal were over Brighton in the first half. Then in the second half, Brighton kind of woke up a bit, and they had a few chances here or there, but Arsenal got the job done. That's what they need to do. One of the toughest fixtures, and
Goal from Havertz. I mean, Kai Havertz. I mean,
I think that's 2-2 now.
I'm just about to say now he's he blanked against. He blanked against Villa, but he scored against Luton. He scored against Brighton. Kai Havertz. Interesting. But still, you've got better options. You got Gordon. You got Palmer. You've got. I mean, again, is he even guaranteed? Is he guaranteed minutes? I mean, he's played the last 3 games 90 minutes in a row, pretty much. Before that, he was on and off. But yeah, I don't know. Not one that I'm anywhere near thinking of getting in. But I
think he's a player that Arteta's trying to fit into some system. And by all accounts, though, is having a negative impact on Odegaard, which isn't good.
No,
that's really, really bad.
Yeah, but I think all Arteta cares about is if they're getting results, right? So if they're winning games, scoring goals, I suppose that's what matters. And if he likes him, then he's going to play him. And because I've not seen Odegaard's name coming up that often anymore. Brentford losing 2-2. Well, Aston Villa beating Brentford 2-1. They came from behind, didn't they? Yes, they came from behind. Lewis Potter fired Brentford ahead.
If it wasn't for the red card, it sounded like it was going to be ending up.
Well, it was red cards for both teams.
Well, that was a last-minute red card for what's his name, Kamara or something.
Yeah.
Look, Aston Villa are a very, very good team. At the end of the day, they've won the match. Go to Brentford, get the points, and get the hell out. Simple as it gets, really. And the likes of Karma Baby, Harbour Boy, etc., will be very happy that they've got the 3 points. But yeah, that looked like it was going to be ending with a 1-1 until Watkins turns up in the 85th minute.
West Ham 3-0. Oh, I watched part of this game. I watched about half of it. I was tuned in at half time, hoping that Cunha would get me some points in this game, and he had a few moments of being in very dangerous positions for Wolves. But it was a classic case of Wolves huffed and they puffed, but they couldn't blow down the door of West Ham in the second half, and West Ham just did the classic, we are going to catch you on the counter-attack. Boom, smashed and grabbed with Bowen getting that final third goal. Paqueta getting 3 assists, Kudus getting 2 goals. I mean, again, people rewarding patient owners there with more points. And Yeah. Bowen as well. We talk about players around that price point. 7.7, a little bit more, but it's still very affordable. If you haven't got Haaland in your team, you can buy whoever you want pretty much. 7.7 Bowen. Is he a better option than Palmer? Is he a better option than Gordon? Is he a better option than Richarlison? These questions will be asked, but again, we're talking about the fixtures. We're taking into consideration when I'm asking, is he a better option? Fixtures aren't that great, mate. Man United at home, okay, you could argue that you'd have opportunities in that game, but United played pretty bloody defensively well against Liverpool tonight, and I think when United have got a double pivot and two defensive midfielders, they can be pretty solid to break down and one of the best defences in the league. It's only when we go to Cavalier in midfield, when we expose our defensive line, then do I think that all of a sudden we're going to become this absolute watertight defence? Too early to tell, but Man United at home is not. I don't think that's an easy one. Arsenal away, Brighton at home, and there's a couple of ones there which wouldn't necessarily be. I wouldn't be attracted to bringing him in. Maybe if I was going to get Bowen in, I probably would look at doing it sort of like for that Sheffield United.
To be fair, I don't think David Moyes is scared of any team. I think that his team's fully equipped to deal with anybody that's put in front of them. They give anybody a good game. I mean, if you look at West Ham's results over the last several fixtures, once I can bring them up here, they're all...
They beat Tottenham, didn't they?
Yeah, so their last 7 fixtures...
Bowen scored against Tottenham, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, apart from this 5-0 freak result that happened funny enough, this time last week, look, they're in Europe. They seem to do quite well. 3 their last results, 3-0, 2-0, 5-0, 2-1, 1-1, 1-0, 2-1, 3-2, 1-0, 3-2 last, 3-1. That was against 3-1 against Arsenal in the League Cup. They lose 1-0 to Everton. Surprise, surprise. Yeah, they don't have fear of anybody, Jace.
No,
and, they score goals.
Yeah, absolutely. They put the ball in the back of the net, which is what it's all about. And I think that Wolves, to me, they looked the better team in the second half. But at the end of the day, I think Wolves, playing well and passing well is not what wins you games, and the fact that West Ham are just much more clinical in front of goal.
Yeah, well, again, 2 very fortuitous goals for kudos. Let's mess about with very especially the first one, especially.
Then finally, the game which was just on.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about this.
No, and nothing learned about that game at all, other than the fact that Darwin does just suck in front of goal.
Yeah, there's something not clicking. I think they're better off with Gakpo, personally. I mean, they're missing Jota, I think. I think they're missing Jota a lot, but I think that Gakpo has earned his right to start ahead of Darwin, personally.
Okay. Yeah, I think patience is wearing off now. Right, animations have been waiting here for a little while. Get animations on. Don't forget to post your team in the team screenshots like animations has done so. And
3 minutes. I am going to be timing this. 3 minutes.
3 minutes, Steve-O, really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Right, animations. Animations, you got 3 minutes. Steve-O's going to be timing you. How's it going, man? You all right? Can you hear me?
Yeah, how's it going, gents? Thought I'd just come on and see how everything is. And Steve-O, you don't have to worry. I won't be on here.
How we are.
Yeah, too late. We ain't got time for introductions or formalities. Let's get straight to it. You got 76 points this week. You did a -8. Are you happy with your team? Yes or no?
Yes, I'm very happy with it.
What are you doing with your team?
Well, I was coming on here just to talk about Villa as a whole in general and stuff, and which defender you guys think is the best one. Really?
Villa? I won't be touching Villa defenders.
Really?
No.
Digne, if anybody. He's back from suspension, isn't he?
Yeah, I was thinking about Digne, and
I tell you what. If I was bringing in a genuinely being honest now, if I was bringing in, that'd be that Torres, Pau Torres. I'd be bringing in 100%.
He's apparently injured now. Apparently, Harry Dawson already brought him in. You read his message in the chat. Look,
what?
He said,
What? He's injured.
Well, apparently, Harry Dawson said he'd done the transfer, and apparently said he may be injured. Apparently, I don't know. I was thinking about
God.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know why you want to get why do you want to get a Villa defender in? What's the drive behind that? I mean, they got Sheffield United next, which is fair enough. Home to the Sheffield United, you expect them to get a clean sheet in that. Man United away. Okay, and then got Burnley, Everton, Newcastle. Yeah, I mean, not the worst fixtures, but who are you getting out to? Who are you taking out your team to bring in?
Well, I've got obviously I've got Pinnock on my bench, who's and obviously got a game, and I initially brought him in for the double that has not been announced. And I think if I get a Villa defender in, I could then bench Tsimikas and Gabriel, who are playing against each other, and I just don't see a clean sheet in that game for either side. So I'm just thinking if I bring him in, I could have Caldwell and Porro.
Steve-O?
You got 50 seconds. I just say bring Digne in. Get it done.
There we
If
go.
you want him to bring in an Aston Villa player, bring in Digne. He'll be coming straight back into the team. He's very, very attacking. He seems to be getting some form of return each and every week. And their next few fixtures, I can see them getting at least of the 4 next fixtures, Sheffield United, Man United, Burnley, Everton. I can imagine them getting potentially 3 clean sheets out of 4. For real.
Well, there we go. There's your answer.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thanks for giving your guys' opinion, and appreciate it very much. And thanks for having me on.
Cheers, man.
Cheers, gents.
Past Steve-O's bedtime. That's why he's getting a bit angry at the moment. Right, Taj Meister. The good news is we only got one more person here. We've got, unless you want to come on, guys, it will be a short stream. Taj Meister, how's it going? Can you hear us, Taj Meister?
Yeah, sorry, I had my mic on mute.
Oh, it's all right, man. It's all right. How's it going, dude? You right?
I'm good, yeah, thank you. How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. Taj, it's the first time coming on, is it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is actually. I was just watching the stream and then I didn't realise you guys do. I've only been a fan of you guys. Well, I'm a fan, but I've only been watching you guys now.
Leave it out. We don't have fans
I literally stumbled across you guys like 2 weeks ago whilst I was literally just scrolling through YouTube, and then yeah, ever since I've just been a big fan. I've subscribed and everything.
Oh, get on, nice one, man. Well, thank you for coming on tonight and sharing us your points and all
2.5
jazz.
minutes.
No, he's a new guy. We can have as many times we want. There's no one else in the waiting room. It's fine. So tell us a bit more about yourself. Is this your first season playing? Have you been playing it for 10 years?
I think it's my 4th season now.
Oh, okay. And whereabouts in the overall ranking?
I was currently 2.4, but I think after this week I've dropped down to about 1.6. But obviously my score hasn't fully updated yet, and I'm still waiting for the auto subs to kick in. So hopefully I should drop down a bit more.
Wow, look who's getting off the bench, Steve-O. He's getting his kudos off the bench. Look at this.
Yeah.
What are you doing? I've got a question. What are you doing with Haaland? Number one question.
My plan is to free hit this week.
Ooh.
And then to fully revamp the whole squad.
Oh, wow, dude. Wow.
Yeah.
You're free hitting.
That way I get to spread the money as well.
You're not worried that later on in the season when we've got, doubles coming up and, blanks.
Oh, that's
and
what
stuff
I'm saying. That's what I'm saving my triple captain for. So not really bothered about that. I'd rather spread the funds this week and just take the big risk.
I mean, Steve-O, it's a big decision using your free hit. Does this team warrant? Does it warrant a free hit though?
Yeah, because I mean, it's a tough. I feel like a tough few games. So.
Free hit, so you'd be 3 Villa against Sheffield United. How many have you got now? So you've got Watkins only versus. You then have, what other decent fixtures are there? Let's have a look.
Pretty much just Gordon. Chelsea.
I'm just thinking. I think what we're trying to establish is if you're gonna score high with a free hit this upcoming week.
Well, I would do because I'd get rid of Haaland and the Kanji.
Yeah, so
that'd
the
be too blank.
point.
Yeah, but you'd be replacing them with Kudos for Haaland and Kabore.
Well, yeah, but you just
get
do a
rid of
transfer,
Kabore.
wouldn't you? You just do a transfer, wouldn't you? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
You just get a Kanji out and you'd bring in Thier, for example, or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the fixtures and I'm thinking where are the goals coming from. Yeah, Villa's a good one. Potentially Newcastle.
I was thinking maybe Solanke.
Newcastle.
Yeah, I think Luton, Newcastle. I think that could be a few goals there for Newcastle. They need to kind of get back on. Well, they've just beat Fulham 3-0. So yeah,
I did have one question. I mean, I've been playing for a couple of seasons, but I couldn't remember. I was gonna ask, do you know if I free hitted, would my free transfer roll over, or does that just get cancelled out?
No, sorry, your free transfer. So if you free hit, basically what you do is you take a snapshot of what your team is now, and it gets returned to you. But like if you had 2 free transfers, it doesn't roll over the extra transfer. But when you
know how I've got the one free transfer, everyone gets a free transfer.
Everyone gets a free transfer every week. So if you free hit now, when the game updates, you'll still have a free transfer. Yes.
Okay.
Because everyone gets one free transfer every time the game updates.
Yeah.
But what you don't get is if you've got 2 free transfers and you free hit, you don't get the 2 free transfers. You go back to 1.
I've only got the one available anyway. Yeah.
I personally don't think you need to free hit. I think that you could probably just navigate it with a couple of transfers and maybe even take a -4 if you really wanted to optimize your team for the upcoming game week. Bring in, take a Kanji out, bring in Thier or whatever. Maybe take out Haaland and get a replacement in. Because maybe for the short term, Haaland isn't worth looking at having in your team anyway. Looking at your team, right. I think you got a lot of great players. I mean, you got Gordon, you got Son, you got goal scorers in your team. You got Salah, you got Palmer, you got Watkins. I mean,
yeah, I just really wanted to bring more.
I think it might burn you in the bum doing a free hit because you've got a lot of the popular picks already in your team, and a lot of them are really proven goal scorers in the Premier League. And you're going to bring in players that got the fixtures, but are they just going to end up getting the same sort of points? And then you're going to be thinking, yeah, I probably didn't need to free hit, and then kind of feeling a bit bad about it. I mean, if your mind is fully made up on free hitting, then absolutely go for it, mate. But I know
Steve was saying about Richarlison as well as a good shout. So I was just thinking bringing in like triple Villa, bringing triple Tottenham, and then possibly even triple Newcastle as well. Just like just fully scrap it.
You're loading up, aren't you, on these players? I mean, you are really banking on them on performing. And if 2 of the teams have a boring 0-0 or a 1-0 obscure, I mean it's one of those where for me, like you talk about the Liverpool and Arsenal game, but you're going to be keeping Salah in your team, aren't you? And you're going to be
true.
I mean, you've got the Saliba. I guess I understand why you're doing it, because you've got the Zinchenko Saliba double up, and you're worried about them playing each other. I get it, but
yeah,
I don't know if it's not worth a free hit personally. Steve-O, do you want to finally
just don't do it? Is the simple answer. Just bring in.
You regret it, mate.
Yeah, just take out a Kanji, keep Haaland, and bring in, like Jason said, an Aston Villa defender. That's all you got to do.
Animation says this team on screen doesn't need to free hit. Maybe just take a -4 to better it only because the teams playing this week aren't that great. Free hit in a double game, it gives you 2 bites at the cherry, says Colm. Yeah, I think that you will look back and go, oh, I mean, again, this is just friendly advice. I like to go into that like second half of the season with the free hit chip, knowing that I can navigate the blanks in the double game weeks and make my team have like just what animation says, have 2 bites at a cherry, make an optimal squad for a double game week, have a bench as well that's playing double. and just enjoy everything. So I think I mean, again, go with your gut feeling, man. Always go with your gut feeling, but I just think that you're maybe regretting it.
No, yeah, I appreciate that, guys, and I'll take that all on board. I mean, obviously, you never know; there might be fresh injuries towards the next, when the deadline is.
For me, if a free hit is if you're not going to play it strategically, it's because you're doing it because it's an emergency situation. You may have 2 or 3 players injured. You've got very, very poor selection for that particular week. This team's not a poor selection, and this team hasn't got that many issues. I mean, 2 Man City shirts can come out, and then you can swap them around. Look to bring in say a Digne, look to bring in a Solanke or move on to Wilson, maybe Callum Wilson. You don't need to worry too much about anything else, really. I mean, even your players that you've got in, I mean, Zinchenko's capable of getting an assist, you know. Tsimikas is capable of getting an assist. I mean, look at him tonight. He was really involved in the Liverpool attack, and it could be just one of those situations where you'd be missing out on those points and potentially just being a bit annoyed about it. And don't forget, a lot of people out there have got the same bloody players in their team anyway. So
that's true. Yeah.
So
if I'm taking a blank, you're right. Actually,
yeah. I'm just trying to kind of make you see it from both sides. That's all. Just so you don't end up doing something which you're going to get annoyed about. Because I've been there. I think we've all been there. We've done something. We've not, we've been a bit knee jerk at making decisions or transferring players out. But there's no one in your team that needs to be cutthroat and removed right now. I mean, again, other than maybe Akanji, maybe Haaland. I mean, yeah, but cool. Right.
I'm a Villa fan, so that's all I've got to say is up the Villa. I really appreciate you guys, and
appreciate you, mate. Appreciate you popping in and having a chat with us, and thank you so much for the support, and thanks for subscribing to our channel. It's been great to talk to you, man. Yeah.
Thank you. You likewise. Thank you very much, guys.
Cheers, Taj, man. Take care, buddy.
Enjoy.
Bye.
What? Just dragged Steve out. Right. Well, that's great, Steve. That's brilliant. We've 2 callers, and we are coming on to 10 to 10 now. I think we've covered everything. We've covered the games. We've covered the Super Cup. We've covered the with the callers that came in. We've covered Solanke news, which there isn't any. I think we're good. I think we're good to get ready to wrap up. Unless I've forgotten something.
No, I don't think you have. I think that's pretty much it. I think it's time to wrap up, mate.
Right, guys and girls, thank you so much for tuning in, and congratulations for people that have got green arrows this week. Well done to all of you. It's been great to see that a lot of the familiar names, as always, in the chat. I read your messages, and thank you for the support. And we'll be back again for the Game Week 18 preview, which will be on the it's going to have to be, Steve. It's going to have to be Wednesday night, maybe.
I'm not available, so.
Are you available Thursday?
Thursday, yeah.
What time?
Not till the game's updated.
Right. You can't do a deadline stream.
I'm not available until
I might do a deadline stream on Thursday.
Well, if you do a deadline stream, then I'll tell the guys on FPL Juice so you can be part of their stream section.
Yeah, that'd be good. That would. Would you be able to join me if I do a deadline stream?
No.
No. Would you be able to join me at some point in the stream?
Again, I really don't know.
Oh, okay. You don't know what time. Right. Okay. Fair enough. Because if you turn around and said I can join you in the second half, I don't. Well, anyway, I'll let you know. We'll let you know. Chat. We'll schedule it. We'll get it all scheduled. Shout out to Alex Volo again for the amazing thumbnail.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Yes.
Right, guys. Catch you later.